What is going on YouTube? My name is Harlow Kicks, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the Adidas Yeezy Boost 350 V2 in the Desert Sage colorway. These did retail for that standard 350 V2 price of $220. As far as resale is concerned, they're not going for too much over that at all. I think in my size, which is a US size 10, you can get them for around $250 or $260 on sites like StockX and GOAT. So they are really not too much over retail, which is great. So if you're thinking about picking up a pair, you can do so without having to break the bank too much. And yeah, the sneaker itself is definitely one of the most unique 350s that we've seen in quite a while. Kanye has been on this mission to release probably the most bland and boring 350s that he can. I'm not saying they're not good shoes, I'm just saying once you have one of them, you pretty much have them all with these recent releases. So it's cool to see something different like these. They come in this, as you would imagine, Desert Sage color, which you find primarily on the laces, the prime knit, and then the midsole. They are all the same shade of green, which I can only describe as a very subtle green. It looks gray from a lot of distance and in a lot of pictures and videos, but I assure you it's this really beautiful tint of green. I don't know how else to describe it than that, but it's unlike any color that I've really ever seen on a shoe before. So I'm a big fan. I think it's very different. It's very unique for sure. And that's not even to mention you have this vibrant neon orange on the sock liner that is also found on the padding inside and on the insole as well. So you combine that neon orange sock liner with the Desert Sage color on the prime knit laces, and then on the midsole as well. And then of course on the bottom you have this nice light gum sole, which is pretty translucent on the bottom. Actually, you can really see the outline of the Boost as well, which is really cool. And you just, all those three things together just makes this a very interesting shoe to look at, and I think it really accentuates the silhouette of the 350 very well. So as far as the colorway is concerned, this thing is really unique. As I said before, it's definitely the most unique 350 V2, at least in my opinion, that we've seen for quite a while, and I was more than excited to add these to my collection because I think it is truly a different look to what we're used to seeing from Yeezy. And of course, one of the things that I'm sure you've already picked up on is the stripe on the Desert Sage is fully 3M. This is the same as the March pair that released back on Yeezy Supply a month or two ago. This is a really cool detail to me. The entire thing lights up in 3M, as you guys will see in this video. It's just a really cool subtle vibe. Obviously, most people aren't going to notice that when you're walking around with these during the day, but if you are hitting them with a flash, or if you see them in a picture or video with the flash on, it really changes up the whole vibe of the shoe, which I think is really cool. Interestingly enough, the 3M that is normally found on the Adidas 3 stripes on the back and the heel here, they don't seem to be 3M at all, or maybe just less compared to the other 350s that I have. I have the Lundmarks, the semi-frozens, and the zebras, and I noticed that the 3M on those is actually a lot more vibrant than it is on these. So it looks like it might not be there at all. Maybe it is a little bit. Either way, the 3 stripes are still there, but interesting fact to note. And then the other major change for this specific 350 V2, which I'm sure you've also heard in other videos by now, is the fact that the stitching down the center of the prime knit is now an internal stitching as opposed to the traditional external cross stitching that you find on most other pairs of 350s. I will show you guys some footage of that comparing now with my zebras. So as you can see, it's like a clean seam on the Desert Sage where the stitching is done internally versus the zebra where it's done on the outside. And there's even a third stitching pattern that they did, which is, I think, showed up on now the Cinders, which just released this weekend, and also on the Earths that came out, where it is external stitching, but they have sort of a line woven straight through the cross stitching. So there's now 3 different variants of stitching on the 350 V2, which I find very interesting. Adidas and Kanye are making these like really small, subtle changes to the model, which I think is just enough to keep us interested and keep us buying this model. So I'm not complaining at all. The 350 V2 is one of my favorite silhouettes of all time when it comes to sneakers, so they can keep pumping these out, and I'm always going to be interested, assuming that the colorway is something interesting. So yeah, that pretty much covers most of the details on the Desert Sage. It's an awesome shoe. I absolutely love the way they've pulled this thing off. It's a really well executed sneaker, and I can't wait to pull off some cool outfits with these. Yeah guys, that's my thoughts on these. I hope you've enjoyed. Let me know if you managed to pick up a pair. And yeah, thanks so much for watching guys. Stay tuned for the next video. I appreciate you all for watching. Peace.